On a wild party cruise to Puerto Rico, Abilio Sedaris' vacation comes to an abrupt end. His ship sinks. What will he do? By an amazing stroke of luck, he makes his way to an island with a life jacket. He finds tons of great resources such as grass, insects, chickens, snakes, and decomposers. He thanks his lucky stars he didn't end up like Jack from Titanic. Stay tuned to see what happens to him.
Oh, what happened? Where am I?
Where am I? Oh yeah, I'm on an island.
As Abilio looked around the island, only one question ran through his head.
I'm gonna get energy and matter. Oh wait, energy comes from the sun. I can use that. Oh wait, no I can't. I'm gonna get the energy. Oh yeah, plants. Thank the Portuguese gods.
The plants use photosynthesis to harness the power of the sun. I can eat the plants and get the highest amount of energy from them because they get their energy right from the sun. But good thing they convert solar energy into chemical energy. Those tiny little chloroplasts are saving my life with their conversion powers. Oh, this is perfect. I might not get a ton of protein, but I can worry about that later. The only way that I can get the energy is by consuming the plant, breaking down the glucose into ATP, which is then where its bonds are broken, which give me my energy. But the reason they can do this is by transferring water from their roots into their leaves and then making sure that they have enough oxygen in the cell at the same time to complete the process. Good thing matter and energy is recycled. Matter is recycled between the consumer, producers, and decomposers. When consumers eat producers, they eventually die, which are then eaten by decomposers who put the matter back into the land, which is then picked back up by the producers. Energy is also recycled on the island by decomposers. The decomposers decompose the organisms and then seep their energy into the ground, which is then reused by plants or autotrophs, which is then given to the animals directly or indirectly. To really break it down, autotrophs generate their own energy, which are then consumed by heterotrophs, which eventually die and are then consumed by decomposers to restart the process. But this is only possible because of the cells in my body or the organelle, the mitochondria, which is the powerhouse of the cell. The inputs of glucose and oxygen, which I consume by inhaling oxygen and eating food, are then transformed into carbon dioxide, water, and ATP. I use energy when the ATP is broken down into ADP plus P, which I get the energy from the broken bonds. H2O, or water, and carbon dioxide is expelled from the body by exhaling. I get oxygen I need for cell respiration by inhaling through the mouth and larynx. Then the oxygen flows into my lungs and diffuses into the oxygen-poor red blood cells. The blood cells then go through the circulatory system, pumped by the heart through the veins and arteries. Oxygen diffuses from the oxygen-rich blood cells to the oxygen-poor body cells, going with the concentration gradient. I exhale carbon dioxide the same way, but in reverse. After cell respiration, the CO2 is diffused down the concentration gradient into the CO2-poor blood. After going through the circulatory system again, the CO2 diffuses into the lungs, which exhale it. I manage to get their nutrients, such as glucose, by eating them. The digestive system takes care of that. I need to break down the molecules so I can utilize their energy as ATP. I chew with my mouth to break down the very large parts of food, and then swallow down the esophagus. It is sterilized and further broken down in the stomach, small intestine, and large intestine using hydrolysis. The nutrients are then carried to the cells that use them appropriately. Glucose is carried to the intestines, which is then active transported into them, because glucose is going against the concentration gradient. Glucose then enters the plasma membrane through facilitated diffusion to be used in cell respiration. Another nutrient I need is water, but it is not only used for cell respiration. My cells are rehydrated by the H2O that moves into them via osmosis, which follows the concentration gradient by the means of random movements of molecules. Good thing I get all the biomolecules I need from food. I really need those important biomolecules such as carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and nucleic acids.
This chicken right here will be a great source of protein and nucleic acids. These plants have plenty of lipids and carbohydrates that I can use.
These were synthesized using dehydrogen synthesis, binding monomers together. These smaller biomolecules were made out of 6 elements: carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, and sulfur. They can react with each other because they don't have full valence shells and can react with covalent bonds. Carbon is by far the most important because it has the best attributes and is the backbone of life. They are found in the soil and the air. These components are then combined in the grass using photosynthesis, which creates glucose and lets life have a carbon backbone.
As Abilio realized this, he was able to survive on the island. He never got picked up by anyone and remained there for the rest of his life, but he lived there in luxury.